everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Megan, and today I'm going to be discussing my third book that I read this year. It's called The Night Agent by Matthew Cork. It's also a TV show on Netflix. So let's get started. This is my third book by Matthew Cork that I have read, and it's actually really good. I've started watching the series and it just doesn't do the book justice. There's so many characters in the TV series, and there aren't that many in this book. There's probably maybe 10 characters total because it really focuses on three main characters, and that's Peter, Diane, and Dimitri. So this book is actually about Peter. He currently works in the West Wing of the White House, and he works the emergency line at night. And he's been there for probably, I would say, 11 months, and the phone has not rang yet. And so the beginning of the book is his very first phone call at 1 o'clock in the morning. And so it is from this girl, Rose, and her aunt and uncle had just gotten killed, basically. And so they told her to call this line because they will help you out and know what to do. So because of Rose, mostly Peter's job is to get that information and then relay it to Diane, who is his boss, and I think she's the chief of staff or the secretary, one of the two. And so because of Rose trusting Peter, he ends up going on this journey with them. But the thing is that there is actually a Russian mole inside the White House, and so that this call actually triggers that. So everyone is basically on the hunt for this ledger that Rose's aunt and uncle end up having. So they're a retired couple. They do contract work. And you learn later on the president is the one who reached out to them because he fears that there's an inside mole and no one's telling him anything. And so the main reason is that Rose's aunt and uncle have this ledger. And the ledger has top secret information. For example, the metro crash that happened. They have the rig of the election on how President Travers got into office. And so they have a lot of different information regarding conspiracy theories, and that is the proof is in this ledger. And so the Russian assassin Dimitri also wants it. And so you learn very early on in the book that Diane is the inside mole. You probably learn the first 2 chapters in the book, but it's mostly Diane, Dimitri, and Peter. And you kind of see everyone going for this ledger to protect these secrets from getting out to the public, basically. And so that is kind of the whole journey of the book. And it's just really interesting because you do find out in the first 2 chapters of who the mole is. And you're just okay, as a reader, you know who this is. But it's just the journey on if somebody's going to get this ledger. And that's kind of how Peter gets into it because Rose trusts Peter. She doesn't trust any of these other government people. And so it's hard for Peter at the beginning because it's not his job to go further into a case like this. But Diane picked Peter specifically, and you learn this throughout the book that his dad committed treason, and so Peter's dad committed treason. And so Diane recruits him because she met him out at Boston College when she was on, I think, the board of trustees, and Peter has a finance degree. So they just knew each other from community-based work from there. And so she kind of recruited him because she knew that he could be an easy scapegoat for her for this to even happen, to get the ledger and to be the inside person. Because you learn that Diane works with Dimitri to get this ledger and whatever else there is. So it's a really interesting book. And it kind of gives you Bourne vibes a little bit. You're just on this chase, basically. Everyone, it's just, I don't want to say it's a scavenger hunt, but everyone is on the hunt for this particular ledger because they all want the information. And so it's just really cool how it ends up in the hands of the person at the very beginning or at the end of the novel, and it kind of is full circle. And so watching the TV series, I wish they kind of did that better because Rose has nothing to do with this industry. She's just from California and has worked in, I think, like retailer marketing. So she has no background to the governmental world. But it's just interesting that she just wants to find the truth about her aunt and uncle. And so Peter like helps her out, and it's just a really good novel if you're into like political thrillers. His previous novels have been really good, so I would highly recommend it for anyone who is interested in that genre. Like I said, the TV series is vastly different than the book, but the book is really good too. I think if you take out, I don't know, I just felt the series was kind of like boring, and then it's like I knew everything. I'm like, okay, well, I know that's not true. The president's not even a woman in the book, and then they use the metro station as like a bombing, and it wasn't a bombing, it was actually an accident, a forced accident that was going to happen. So the conspiracy theories and the truth in this one is, I think, altered differently in the TV show. But overall, it's a really good book, and if you're into political thrillers or anything like that, I highly suggest reading that. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.